Hello, welcome Solix Nation. It is Kai's favorite time of the month to remind you to
run your reports. It's time to run your reports. If you're building an organization, go into your back office and get to the reports. Remember, you just have to get to the export portion of that. If you export the reports, then you can download them later and look at them and see what's going on in your organization. But last Wednesday of the month, great time to run the report no matter what, to know how your team is doing.
And save that. Now we are a week away from Day of Discovery, and how many of you are ready for us to stop announcing Day of Discovery? No?
I love Day of Discovery.
I'm so excited about Day of Discovery, but we are 1 week away. It is 1 week from tonight, which means that next Wednesday night, we will not have a weekly update call. We do not want to take you away from all of the trainings from Day of Discovery. There's a lot to watch.
Yeah, if it was live, I'd have sweaty palms right now.
It's not. It's pre-recorded, virtual, and it's going to be excellent.
Which makes it just fun.
That's right.
Right? So
That's
fun.
right. But guess what? Tomorrow is the last day of the month, and what happens March 1st?
Oh, so the prices are going to go up. Last price increase before the event, and so if you're thinking about this event, if you're thinking that you want, now's the time to decide. Get on it before the price goes up. Okay, and we have something interesting with this one that
Something
we've
never done. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have videos with Spanish subtitles.
That's right.
Right? So what you're going to see actually is in the DoD platform, when you select a video that has a Spanish version of it, you can actually see two videos. One's the English version, one is the one with Spanish subtitles on it. So we've been asked about this. People have wanted it. We're hoping that you'll just spread the news and let people know that it's quite a feat, right?
Yeah,
for any video.
Just to put it in perspective, one 20-minute video takes our team about 4 hours to accurately translate this into Spanish. So just when you think about the time spent and the resources used to translate it into Spanish, that's no small feat. Now, we may not have all of the videos translated into Spanish on day one, starting of DoD, but we are committing to have them all translated by the end of Day of Discovery. So if you are Spanish speaking, you won't miss out on any videos.
Yep, we love that. We love our Spanish speaking market. We got a bunch of you. Thanks for asking and re-asking. And now we have something in addition to what we've had in the past, at least to help with this support, language support.
That's right.
Now, I know everybody else, do we have it in French? Do we have it in German? Do we have it in Mandarin? No, we don't have those yet, but certainly we look forward to the day when we will. But right now, Spanish is the next one on the list.
Yes.
So
now, over the last couple of weeks, we've shown you a little taste of what you're going to see at Day of Discovery. So let's watch another little sneak peek.
We need to be looking at social media like the incredible business resource that it is, where we can advertise for free and build lifelong, meaningful connections, and share the power of the AO Scan technology with the world.
Social media is turning into a search engine that's similar to Google, and it's free.
I'm now more successful working from my phone with social media than I ever was with a fully booked brick and mortar practice.
The energy of desperation repels abundance. Ew. We don't want to be desperate. We want to be the other side of the magnet, not the side that repels, the side that attracts.
We've been taught that it's better to not rock the boat, try and fit in, and guess what? Success does not fit in. You're in the field of frequency and quantum. If you really share this stuff, you're going to rock the boat.
The more times you just do something that you don't feel like doing, or that feels scary or hard or difficult, the easier it is.
I loved having Katelyn and Debbie here. That was one video that they recorded. They brought more to the table than just this, and I can't wait for you to see it.
yeah, one part of one video.
That was just a little tiny taste, yeah.
Well, you know what? We announced last week. We've been talking about it this month. This is a special February.
Yes, it only happens once every 4 years.
It's the leap year, and so that means we get the 29th day this month. And so we're going to do something special. We'll announce it right now, and we'll get reminders out in social media and email and text and so forth. But we're going to get 29% off Cephy Dots all day tomorrow.
On the 29th.
Yep, all day.
29% off on Cephy Dots. So now's your time to stock up. I love my Cephy Dots.
Yep.
I always have one on.
Yep.
So that's a fun sale.
Yeah, 29th of the month.
what
Doesn't
you did
ever
there.
happen.
Yeah.
29% off, a little fun.
So speaking of fun, we had a contest last week and we asked you, what did you learn about the call? Now, if you have not seen the call last week, go check it out. We had our special guest Alice on and she talked about color therapy and chakras, inner voice. It was a really interesting call. Now, the full video is released on our podcast. Now you can listen to that wherever you find your podcast, or you can also watch it on our YouTube channel, Solex Podcasts.
Now, and we're going to give away lightweight glasses here, right?
We are, yes, to three people.
All right. So what did they learn?
Yeah, what did you learn last week?
All right, let's go. Here, I have one. It's between two fingers that are not the strongest. All right, this is Claire Jones. I have worked a lot with chakras and stones, but was excited to learn about their associated statements and how they all add up to I am. It was a beautiful discovery for me. I am blessed to know that I am made in our Creator's image. We all are. Thank you, Claire.
That is great. A great takeaway.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Love the I am phrase.
This is Jaria 1000. Please give us a call. Let us know your name. I just learned about color. I did not know that color affects your mood, like she shared about yellow, and also connects with the affirmations. I need to learn more about this very interesting topic, probably what she meant. This can help me get through the day.
I love that. Well, she's going to get lightweight glasses, so add that to your inner voice process, and you're going to have a great experience, right?
Wait till you see Lauren at the end of this call.
Yeah. Here we go. Just Malibra, give us a call. Let us know who you are. It helps us be more intentional and to talk about balance. Both great selling points of focus for the scanner. Great to hear more highlight on color and energy centers in the weeklies. Color and chakras are close to my heart with both architecture and yoga backgrounds, so I know this is a powerful path. I can't remember when it was within Solex users, but a few weeks ago, wearing the colors popped up, so I try to do a daily morning scan before I get dressed and wear the colors especially low, as it is emphasized in the IV calls, to boost me during the day. Later on, I like to use the glasses too with the Easy or the Inner Voice scan. Shoes was a new one. I cannot wait to jazz myself and others with carefully selected shoe colors. I can't wait to build my audience and add more color to their lives too. Wonderful. A lot of uses right there.
I love the idea to do your inner voice scan and then to choose the color depending on what comes up as low. That's really smart. Thanks for that tip. All right, we will send you all lightweight glasses tomorrow, so look forward to that. Well, actually, that's not true. As soon as you call us and tell us who you are, we will send you lightweight glasses. All right, let's do our top enrollers.
Yes, for the week of February 19th to 25th.
Yes, we only had no ties this week, and these two were one apart. Our second place was Ken Kennedy with 5. He brought on 5 people last week.
And then number 1, first place, again, Simmons Holistics Inc. Congratulations, she brought on 6.
That's right. Wow. Congratulations to both of you. That's amazing. That's a lot of work done. Yeah. All right, let's go on to our training portion of this call with Deb Bruce.
Chakras, meridians, database. You've gone through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Where do you go from here? Well, if you look at this picture of the chakras, you see that it covers all the different points in the body. And this is really important because the chakras are like the breaker switches in your house. Now think about the breaker switches in your house. If one of those flips, then you have the problem of something inside the house failing to work properly. And now you've got a real problem. You've got to figure out, for some of us, well, where's the box to go flip the breaker again? What is it in the house that's turned off? And what's the possibility of why it's turned off? Well, it's the same thing when you're working with the chakras in the body. When you go on to the meridians, these are like the wiring in your house. The wiring takes all the signals of electricity and transports them through the house to where it needs to be so that when you plug in something that it works. So the chakras and the meridians work together similar to how the breaker boxes in your house and the wiring in your house works. And this is important to know because when you look at the chakra descriptions, you can see that there's a lot of places in the body that are affected by whether or not those chakras are working properly, whether they're energetically functioning as energy centers the way that they're supposed to. And this chart with the different descriptions of what the chakras do can be really valuable to you when you're working with your database and when you're working with the ability to imprint your homeoenergetics for miasms. Here we have the description of the meridians, and this is just as important as the previous one that we saw for the chakras because you're going to be able to combine information from the descriptions of the meridians and know right where to go when it comes to miasms and what to do based on the part of the body that's been affected. So we have emotions that are associated with the chakras and the meridians, but there's also emotions that are associated with the miasms. And so here you can see with Pasora, psychosis, and syphilinum that there are different emotions that you can think about. And a lot of these are going to come up when you do the inner voice on people. You're going to see a list of different emotions that are bothering them and affecting their different body parts. And those are going to tie in very closely with what you see here that is with the miasms. Now, this is important because when you look at what the miasms are attached to, there are different body parts and different diseases that people are predisposed to because of what has happened with their ancestors. For example, the Pasora is always something like asthma, upper respiratory, psoriasis, eczema. Your syphilis, you're going to see in family lines down through the generations that there's the tendency towards anything neurological like Alzheimer's, dementia, nervous tics, seizures, bipolar, Parkinson's, tremors. And then with the gonorrhea in the family line, it's anything that's irregular in the body as far as things like cancer, diabetes, plaquing of the arteries. There can be different kidney stones, gallstones, osteopenia, osteoporosis, and even ADD, ADHD is another one that's interesting, or an accumulation of cataracts with calcium in the system. And then the carcinosis one is one that's towards rare cancers in families, but it also can be an umbrella miasm that covers a lot of the other ones if you just aren't quite sure what to run. So here we see that somebody's been scanned and optimized with the chakras. And so you can see that there are different ones here that are needing to have some assistance. And then here you have it where in the meridians, there's areas that after scanning and optimizing, they're needing assistance as well. So what would you want to do at that point? Well, what you would want to do is you would want to go in and you would want to scan the different body parts that have showed up from the chakras, from the meridians. You would want to scan them. You'd want to optimize them. And then you would want to look at the PDFs after you've done that to see where the ones or nines are and go from there. So, for example, here's one of the areas that showed up in this scan, and that was of the brain. When you look at the PDF and you look at the numbers, you can see that there's quite a few areas that are needing assistance with the brain. And so you could go to your homeoenergetics, and you could go, and this is the one that opens up after phase 1, 2, and 3. It's not the homeoenergetics that's just under general Cephi. It's the actual homeoenergetics category itself. So you would go into there, and then you would load up the brain sagittal, the part that you had scanned and that you had optimized. And here you can see that you're looking for miasms. When you go into the homeoenergetics, you can check for miasms and look here and see what came up under the brain. So here you have the gonorrhea in the family line. And this would be not saying that they have gonorrhea. It's saying that 4 or 5 generations ago, maybe 3 generations to somebody in the family had gonorrhea. And so the brain is predisposed towards some of the problems. Could be plaquing of the arteries in the brain. Could be with the tuberculosis, could be inflammation from a tendency towards the TB tendency towards breakouts. So if you look, you've got the ones that you can imprint, and so you would be able to go to the homeoenergetics, go to these areas, and you would be able to see which one was a priority that would be able to be imprinted, because this is the report that's going to come up in your database. And so you know now that there are miasms that are affecting that area of the body. So here's the nerves of the brain, where it's showing that it also needs to be assisted. There's a lot of numbers that are out of balance, 1s and 9s, where there's some reduced energetic function, and 9s where there's possibly some inflammatory possibilities. And so here again, you know, if you go to your database report and you look under miasms, you're going to see that the nerves of the brain are being affected by a miasm. And then you could go into your homeoenergetics and go to the miasm section and scan to see which one would be the priority for that part of the body. In that same scan, we have nerves of the head. And look how many areas in this area coming up from what was seen in the chakras and in the meridians as needing assistance when it was scanned and optimized. Look how this area really needs a lot of assistance as well. So you run the database, you look at the report, and you see that this area is coming up in the report as needing to have assistance as well. This one of the spine, same thing. Look how many areas are possibly needing assistance. And so what you would do is you would scan, you'd optimize, you go in, you do your database report, you look under the section that says miasms, and then you're able to look and see, in this case, that there is coming up for gonorrhea in the family line in the past, and also some tuberculosis. So you'd be able to look back at the description of what those things could possibly do to that area, and you'd be able to see if, in fact, they in their family line that they know of, or even they themselves, are possibly having some issues with some of those things that would come up on that description. The next PDF that we have is of the gut, and you look at the areas of the gut here, and you've got the stomach that's having a problem, you've got the transverse colon that's having a problem. There's a lot of areas in there, and we know that the gut is so tightly involved with health that this is one that would be really important to see if there were any genetic predispositions towards anything that needed assistance. And sure enough, when you run the database and you go to your report, you can see that there's actually 3 miasms that are coming up that are possibly leaning this person towards different problems because of the family line. And once again, you could look at the description of what could possibly be happening and see if there is any indications in their life currently that they have digestive issues that line up with the description or a family history. And at the same time, you can go in to your homeoenergetics and actually imprint these remedies for them. Kidneys also came up with the chakras and the meridians. So you can see you've got a couple of 9s on the one side and have some reduced function on the left side. And so this is one that if you went into your database to see what was being affected under your report for miasms, it is the tuberculosis that is coming up, the psora, the serinum. Now, when you are in your doing all of these scans, once again, you can go to the term report, which just shows when there's more than one hit for the miasms. However, I encourage you to get used to looking at the report for each area that comes up under the chakras and the meridians, because you can see how there were ones for the gonorrhea, there were ones for the syphilinum, and those could be having a really powerful impact on those areas of the body for somebody. So if you just used the quick term report, it would give you an idea of what was important, but you'd be missing out on a lot of information that might really help them raise energetically those areas of the body that are being affected by those genetic predispositions. Here we can see some additional scans with 1s and 9s from the meridians, as opposed to the previous ones being all from what we saw in the chakras. So once again, you go to the brain, and you're able to see the areas that were in your PDF that are needing assistance. And when you go actually into the homeoenergetics area to imprint, you find not only the miasms, but you can also get some other clues to what's going on as well. So here, going into the miasm area, it came up with the psychosis detox, and that is the one that is the gonorrhea tendency in the family. So you would be able to click on that, and you would be able to imprint that for them, as well as do the other two that were ideal, which shows that they have some chemical situations with the brain, and they also have some issues from possibly some previous dental work, where some of the toxins from having dental work have ended up possibly crossing the blood-brain barrier and ending up needing to be detoxed. Here with the cerebral cortex, once again, this came up in the meridians, and so when you go to the homeoenergetics analysis for that area of the brain, you can see that it's supporting the need for better circulation, the need for a chemical detox, and not quite yet, you'd be able to check back later in another scan, but that carcinosis genetic miasm is coming up as being not quite ideal. You could imprint it with a 4, 5, or 6, but I personally prefer to just do the ones that are 5s. So in my case, my own personal opinion, I would wait until I actually saw a solid 5 on that carcinosis detox. It's going to be a very powerful detox because it's one that is going in and trying to help straighten somebody up energetically from what they've inherited pretty much in every cell of the body. So now we're back to the gut again, where it came up once again in the meridians. And so we're going to go in and we're going to see just exactly what can be helped with this. When you look at the homeoenergetics analysis results for this, you can see that for the gut, syphilinum came up. Now that has all the neurological possible impacts on the gut. And so this would be a really important one for them. And then nerve ease is coming up as well, and that would go back to seeing if they possibly needed help with chiropractic, but you can see that it's ideal. It could be imprinted into sugar pills or into jewelry or whatever you wanted to. In my case, I always make sure that they have something that they can take, whether it's a brandy and purified water solution, taking drops, or sugar pills, so that they're able to, a couple times a day, take the dosage for the ones that are ideal. And then you have the one at the bottom is really important, the EBV. It's not a miasm, but it's something that likes to aggravate the miasms. And so here again, it's a 6. I personally wouldn't imprint it at this time, but it's probably going to be ready to be imprinted in another scan or two in a number of weeks. So that would be something that you'd want to keep an eye on. But definitely that miasm, the syphilinum detox would be something that would be important for the gut. Here the pancreas came up and under the meridians. And so you can see here on the right side, the duodenum, the hepatic duct, the different areas, the gallbladder needing help. And the pancreas has such a big impact on health, and it works so tightly with these other areas that it's really important to pay attention to it. You've got your islet of Langerhans in the pancreas that has to do with the insulin response in the body. We know that in the last few decades, there's been a lot of increase of diabetes. There's been a lot of increase of pancreatic cancer, things of that nature. Diets have deteriorated. This is an area that has been taking a lot of hits in the last few decades just from diet and stress alone. So you're going to want to pay attention when that pancreas comes up under a section of the meridians and really look to helping it, support it, not only with enzymes and chiropractic and all the things that you can do that way, but really looking to see if there is any genetic predisposition that you can help straighten them up from energetically so that they can attain that higher frequency standard that's more towards a healthy pancreas. So here under pancreas, when you look, they're showing some effects possibly from vaccinations, possible parasite issue. Now, parasite issue-wise, you're not going to ever have parasites actually go into the pancreas. It's like a suicide mission because the pancreas has amylase, protease, lipase, cellulase, and your parasites are mainly protein. But this would indicate to you that outside of the pancreas, there is possibly a past, present, or developing parasitic issue. And that makes sense a lot of the times because right outside of the pancreas, you've got the hepatic duct, you've got the duct coming down from the gallbladder, you've got the duodenum where the enzymes are going and the food is all digesting. So you can kind of call it the fine dining section for parasites. It's an area that they really like to hang out at, and this can really be a problem because they can actually deprive you of a lot of your nutrients. So in this particular slide, you would want to think about making sure that they were imprinted for that genetic predisposition that could be causing some energetic issues with the pancreas, but also address the parasite issue. And then we've been seeing a lot with vaccination detox, especially since COVID. And this applies both ways. We've been seeing it with people that were vaccinated. We were seeing it with people that haven't been vaccinated. So it's something to pay attention to also. And it used to be that I would only see it in people with it saying that it was about 5 years or more in the database, but now vaccination is showing up under like the toxicity report, is showing up as 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So we know that it's a little bit related to what's been going on with all the vaccinations worldwide because of COVID. So this is something that you can assist somebody with when it shows up in an area of the body. But here again, talking about chakras, meridians, and miasms, you're going to want to pay attention to that psora, that tuberculosis in the family line, because it's causing some issues energetically with that area of the body. The pelvis came up under the meridian scan. So when we look at the pelvis and what comes up after scanning, optimizing, doing the database report, and then going into the homeoenergetics, you can see for this area of the body that 3 things came up. And that's the psychosis, which is the gonorrhea in the family line, the diabetes assist, which is support, and then the nerve ease. So that psychosis is going to be really important as a miasm genetic. If you think back about what showed up under the description, gonorrhea can cause an imbalance in the parathyroid that's inside the thyroid, and that controls the phosphorus calcium in the body. When you start to get an imbalance in that, a lot of times the calcium starts to get pulled out of the bones to offset the excess phosphorus. And then what happens is it ends up being deposited in different areas, which can be cataracts, plaquing of the arteries, kidney stones, whatever. But it also can start showing up in areas like this, the pelvis, if in the past, in the present, or developing, there's starting to be a genetic predisposition for some weakening of that pelvic sacrum area, the bones in the pelvic area. And so that person may be genetically leaning towards or heading towards or even be starting to develop the osteopenia, the osteoporosis, the problems with bone strength. So that would be something that would be important to make sure that was imprinted in order to help them with that predisposition. And if they've already been diagnosed with having a problem with osteopenia, osteoporosis, in the bone area, then you would just be assisting the body to work with that condition that they had been diagnosed with. Just remember, it's never diagnostic when you see this. It's just something that's letting you know that because of what was in the family line 3, 4, 5 generations ago, there is the predisposition towards these type of situations. And so it's wise to monitor and see if we can help them energetically to offset any possible occurrences of the things that can happen because of inheriting those tendencies. Here again, too, with the nerve ease, it may be that the pelvic sacrum area being in the lower back, it might be that you look back at their inner voice and see that it's recommending that they have some chiropractic or acupuncture, cranial sacral or tissue massage assistance for the area as well. So, and then remember that psychosis also was the tendency towards diabetes. And we already saw that the pancreas was needing assistance. And the pancreas is something that can definitely be involved with developing being pre-diabetic or diabetic as well. So if you connect the dots between the slide that you saw on the pancreas and this one, you see that there is the predisposition energetically in the family line, both for the osteopenia, the osteoporosis, and the diabetes. And you're seeing the diabetes frequency tendency both in the pancreas and in the pelvic sacrum area. So that would give you a clue that would be a couple of dots that would be really important to pay attention to.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey,
Nice
Kai.
glasses.
Thanks, Kai.
Yeah, good. Someone's been doing his inner voice, and
Red was the color.
red
today.
was the color. Yeah, I love that.
Can hardly see, but red was the color.
You're like, I can't see anything unless the light is shining bright on my face. No, the light is always shining bright on your face, Lauren.
But it's because I have so much shiner.
It's reflecting. Hey, thanks, Deb Bruce, for part 2 of your presentation. We always are. It's a wealth of learning. We are here, like we said at the beginning of the call, the doorstep of DoD. We want to know what it is that you are most looking forward to at this day of discovery. Now, someone like Lauren might say, hey, I'm looking forward to be done, right? No, but we are looking forward to this massively successful event, all that's going to be in front of us in just a week. We hope that you enjoy it. We're going to give away a chakra bracelet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's give away the chakra bracelet. Comment on the call. What's something you're looking forward to for this DoD event? And so we're actually going to do that giveaway in 2 weeks, right?
And really, the truth is, we've had more excitement about this DoD than everything in history as far as the virtuals.
Yes, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
You know what? Every year they get bigger and bigger and hopefully better and better.
We hope so.
Right? That's what they are. So comment on the call. In 2 weeks, we'll read 3 names, your comments of what you look forward to. And then by that time, it'll be all done. Yeah, and get a chakra bracelet. Okay?
See ya.